It's time to take 10 minutes for Torah with Rabbi Joel Finkelstein.
Welcome to a discussion of Parshat Shelach everywhere. I thank our sponsors, Andy and Tricia Woodman. Thank you. When we look at the Parshat of Shelach, it seems like the structure is fairly clear, and then it's not at all. First, you have the spies. They were supposed to go scout out the land, and we go to Israel. Instead, they said the land is no good, it eats its people, we can't go. And then they were condemned to 40 years in the desert. Okay, so then why after that you have 4 sections? Well, the first 2 are clear. You have a section when you come to Israel, you'll bring your, you'll take out the challah. You'll take off challah. So Rashi says, he's telling them good news, you're going to go to Israel. It's true you were condemned 40 years in the desert, but you will go to Israel. When you go to Israel, you'll have libations, you'll have wine, you'll have vineyards, you'll be able to pour wine, oil, flour, and have a beautiful offering together with all the offerings. And when you have a piece of dough, you'll have wheat, you'll have field. And when you have dough and you have wheat, you have dough, you'll take a piece of dough, you'll give it to the Kohen. So these 2 sections we understand. They're condemned not to go to Israel. And here, by the way, are 2 sections that you will go to Israel. Good. But then why are there 2 other sections? The violation of Shabbos. A man violated Shabbos and he was stoned. Official punishment for violation of Shabbos. Then, tzitzis. You should wear tzitzis. What is the violation of Shabbos and tzitzis? What does that got to do with the fact that the Jews were condemned to go in the desert for 40 years? It comes from Meidan and Rav Bazak in my yeshiva in Israel, Yeshivat Har Tzion. And they say, it's very simple. First, you have the condemnation. They won't go to Israel now. It's going to be 40 years. The Jews are wondering, are they really going to make it to Israel? So Hashem says, don't worry. You're going to go to Israel. No question about it. Wonderful. We're going to Israel. What are we going to do there? Oh, you're going to bring libations. Oh, we're going to have wine. Yeah, you're going to have oil. You're going to have flour. It's going to be great. And then you'll have dough. You'll have plenty of bread, which is what everyone worries about. You know, alechem lado yichadam. We live on bread. And will we have enough bread? Yes, there won't be any famine. You'll have bread. And you'll take a piece of bread. You'll give it to the Kohen. You'll have so much bread, you can give some to the Kohen. Laniach brachal beitech. It'll bring a blessing to your house too. Good. Great. But what about right now? Now we're in the desert. Vayu Yisrael bamidbar. Only section in the Torah that begins that way, that the Jews were in the desert. And what happened? Someone violated the Shabbos. What do you mean they were in the desert? We know they were in the desert. What's it telling us? Why does it mention Vayu Yisrael bamidbar? The Jews were in the desert. What's it saying? So it's saying that I told you from the very outset that that Shabbos is a holiday wherever you are. So even though you're Bamidbar, you're in the desert, you still have to keep Shabbos. One day, Judaism has a life even when you're not in Israel. One day the Jews will not be in Israel. And you know what they're going to have to do? They have to keep the Shabbos. Why? Because Shabbos is like extraterritorial. When you have Shabbos, you're in Israel already. You know, when you have Shabbos, Ein Olam Haba, it's like the next world. I have no worries. I've got my meals. I have my family. I have my God. I pray. I don't worry about, they say, oh, you got to go to work. You got to do this. I say, no, I'm off today. This is my Shabbos. Make my day. So the Jews on Shabbos, it reminds you of the land of Israel. And it's something you can do even when you're outside the land of Israel. What about tzitzis? Says Ramidan, tzitzis is also, it's an external way of showing I'm still Jewish. I'm here among the Gentiles. So people say, oh, he must be another Gentile. No, look at him. He's got those tzitzis. He's different than everyone else. He has the fringes on his garment. He's not the same as everyone else. Says Reb Samson Frau Hirsch, that's why it's on the 4 corners of the garment. What, 4 corners? Why 4 corners? What if I had a 5-corner garment? What if I only have a 2-corner garment? A lot of our garments don't have 4 corners. Why 4? He says, because we know Arba Kanfos. What's that? Arba Kanfos Haaretz. We say it every morning that we want God to gather us from all the 4 corners of the world. Wherever you are, says the Torah, wherever you are, 4 corners of the world, wherever you are, it doesn't matter. You should wear the tzitzis. Remember that there is a God. Remember everything that was. Why do we have these 4 sections at the end of Parshat Shelach? The first 2 sections tell us you will go to Israel, and it's going to be wonderful. You'll have wine, you'll have bread, you'll have oil, you'll have flour. You know what else? You'll have bread, you'll take a piece, you'll give it to the Kohen. And then the final 2 sections say, and you know what? Right now you're not going to be in Israel. And guess what? A lot of Judaism, thousands of years of Judaism, is not going to be in the land of Israel. But guess what? You have Shabbos. You still have Shabbos even though you're outside of Israel. And Shabbos itself is as if you are in Israel because it's so holy. It's like you're in the next world. You're in the Garden of Eden on Shabbos. And tzitzis. Tzitzis reminds you that wherever you are, a Jew is distinguishable. And that explains the verse in Zechariah. Zechariah says, Perek Chet, Pasuk Chav Gimel, chapter 8, verse 23, V'echziku b'chnaf ish Yehudi lemor. He says, Ki nelcha imachem, ki shamanu, ki Hashem imachem. One day, 10 Gentiles will grab the corner of one Jewish garment and they'll say, we want to go with you because we heard that God is with you. The tzitzis represents the Jew in exile, but it's not an ultimate exile. He doesn't stay there forever. Eventually, that garment leads him back to Israel. The Gentile says, take me back, show me the way. Show me the way to the land of Israel. Let's go up to the mountain of God and let's learn about the Torah. From Zion we shall go forth the Torah. Eventually, tzitzis will bring us back. The Jew stays Jewish in the exile. Eventually it brings him back to the Garden of Eden, back to the land of Israel, back to his God, back to his people, back to his land. And that will eventually be our salvation. This parsha reminds us, although we're not going to Israel, Torah is forever, the Torah is everywhere. Thank you for joining us here at the Baron Hirsch Congregation. Welcome. Join us each week for a discussion of the parsha and the holidays. And thanks to Jason Lefkowitz, our producer. Thank you.
This has been 10 Minutes for Torah with Rabbi Joel Finkelstein.